It's 9:14 in the morning, and you're standing in the domestic terminal of a mid-sized American airport. Gate C-17. Your boarding pass is on your phone. Your coffee is lukewarm. You've already eaten the first half of a blueberry muffin and left the rest on the armrest, because honestly, it wasn't worth the calories. The PA system is looping a reminder about unattended bags. A toddler near the window is pressing his entire face against the glass, watching a cargo loader move in slow, deliberate circles across the tarmac. There are roughly 3,200 people in this building at this moment. Most of them are doing exactly what you're doing: waiting, scrolling, sipping, not thinking. This is important. Remember this moment, the stillness of it. Because what happens next begins not with a bang, but with a flicker. At 9:17 a.m., the lights go out. Not dramatically, not all at once. The terminal dims in a slow cascade. The gate displays first, then the overhead fluorescence, then the concession signs, until the only illumination left is the gray morning light pressing through the floor-to-ceiling windows that face the runway. Emergency lighting kicks on after about 4 seconds, pale amber strips along the floor. A few people look up from their phones. A woman at the charging station pulls her cable out and inspects the outlet as though it has personally offended her. Your phone still has a signal, for now, but it's already running on battery you hadn't planned to burn through. The PA crackles, then goes silent. What you notice, if you're paying attention, is what doesn't happen. The gate agents don't make eye contact with passengers. They're all looking at their own screens, typing, picking up desk phones. One of them, a woman in her 40s with a blue vest and sensible shoes, slowly sets the desk phone back down and stands very still for a moment. Just a moment. Then she picks it back up and tries again. This is the first signal, not the darkness. Darkness can be a circuit breaker, a blown transformer, a localized fault. It's that expression on her face, that pause, that second attempt. A system professional encountering something that isn't in the manual. Outside, you can see it. 3 aircraft sitting motionless on the tarmac. Engines quiet. No ground crews moving. No fuel trucks. Nothing. At 9:19 a.m., 2 minutes after the initial failure, your signal drops to 0. People begin to move, not yet with urgency, with mild confusion. The social choreography of the inconvenienced. A cluster near gate C12 starts queuing at the agent desk. More people pull out phones, hold them up, adjust their position. The universal human response to no signal, which does absolutely nothing, but provides the illusion of action. Here's what you need to understand about crowd behavior in the first minutes of a system failure. Most people don't respond to the event. They respond to other people responding to the event. This is called social proof, and in a survival context, it is almost always working against you. The crowd is currently calibrating itself to the most confident-looking person in its vicinity. Right now, that person is a gate agent trying to look composed, so the crowd remains mostly composed. But that calibration can flip. It takes one person sprinting, not walking, toward an exit for the entire nervous system of a crowd to rewire itself. Studies from the 2003 Station nightclub fire, the 2010 Love Parade stampede in Duisburg, and multiple stadium crush events show the same pattern. A 60-second window between the first visible panic signal and the onset of contagion behavior. 60 seconds is not a long time. You have something right now that you will not have in 8 minutes: the ability to move freely. Your phone buzzes once before it loses signal completely. A push notification from a news app. 4 words. Confirmed. National grid failure. Not regional. National. You look out at the tarmac again. The cargo loader that was moving earlier is now stopped. The man in the orange vest who was driving it is standing next to it, looking at his own phone. You look at the gate agent who tried the phone twice. She's now speaking quietly with a colleague. Both of them angled away from the crowd. The way you angle yourself away from a conversation you don't want overheard. A national grid failure in the continental United States has happened before. 2003, a software bug cascading across the Northeast and Midwest. 55 million people without power for up to 2 days. That event caused $6 billion in economic damage, 0 deaths attributable to the blackout itself, and resolved in 48 hours because it was isolated and accidental. What you are experiencing does not feel isolated. It does not feel accidental. The communication blackout is simultaneous. Your cell network is down. The airport's internal radio systems are not broadcasting on anything you can hear. The realization lands quietly, the way dangerous things often do. You are in a building designed for transit, surrounded by 3,200 strangers, with no operational transportation, no incoming communication, and no way of knowing what is happening 30 miles from here, or 300 miles from here, or overseas. The blueberry muffin, which you left on the armrest, is now gone. Somebody took it while you were thinking. You have a few minutes before this crowd transforms. Use them, your assets. A half-charged phone, a carry-on with 2 days of clothes, a water bottle that is 3/4 full, a granola bar, your wallet, your car keys. Your car is in long-term parking, Lot E, 2 Skybridge levels down, and a shuttle ride away, and roughly $8 in cash. Your liabilities. You are on the 2nd floor of a building that is currently filling with people who are about to realize they are not going anywhere. The exits you know about are the ones everyone knows about. The main security corridor, back to baggage claim and ground transportation, which is already developing a slow but growing queue as people begin filing toward the exits. That queue will double in the next 4 minutes. It will be impassable in 12. Most people will move toward what is familiar, the way they came in, the entrance they remember. This is instinct, and it is not always wrong. But in a collapsing crowd scenario, it is usually where the bottlenecks form, where the compressions happen, where people get hurt not by malice, but by the simple physics of too many bodies moving through too small a space. You begin walking, not running, never running. Running broadcasts panic, toward the far end of the C concourse, away from the queue, away from the familiar. You remember, from a trip 2 years ago, a maintenance corridor near Gate C28, a door with a push bar and a small sign, authorized personnel, ground level access. At 9:31 a.m., 14 minutes after the initial failure, something changes in the ambient sound of the terminal. The murmur that had been steady, conversational, mildly anxious, sharpens. A man near Gate C19 is on a satellite phone. His voice is controlled, but his face is not. 2 women near the Starbucks kiosk are crying without making noise, which is somehow worse than the alternative. A group of younger men near the windows are watching the tarmac and talking fast. The queue at the main security corridor is no longer moving in an orderly way. You can hear, from 200 feet away, the sound of voices overlapping. Not shouting yet. Overlapping. The difference between a conversation and a crowd is when individual voices stop being distinguishable. You walk faster, not running. Faster. The terminal smells different than it did 15 minutes ago. Less coffee, less recycled air conditioning, more body heat. 3,000 human beings generate approximately the same thermal output as a small industrial furnace, and the HVAC has been off for 14 minutes. At the far end of the concourse, near Gate C27, a uniformed TSA officer is speaking into a radio that does not appear to be receiving. She is doing this calmly, methodically, in a way that tells you she is trained for this kind of situation, but has not yet received any guidance about it. She does not stop you when you walk past her. You are moving with a specific direction, not the scattered, hesitant drift of someone confused about what to do. Purposeful movement in a crisis environment is often its own form of camouflage. The door near Gate C28 is exactly where you remembered it. Push bar, ground level access, a small keypad to the right of the handle, but the keypad's light is off. The electronic lock, like everything else in this building, is running on emergency power protocols, which in many commercial facilities default to unlocked rather than locked during a power failure. This is a standard fire safety requirement in most municipal building codes. You push the bar. The door opens. Behind it is a concrete stairwell, utilitarian, industrial lit by a single battery-powered emergency fixture. It smells like hydraulic fluid and rubber. 40 feet below is the tarmac-level service road that runs along the eastern perimeter of the terminal, outside the security fence, adjacent to a surface lot that connects to Airport Road. You are alone in this stairwell. For about 30 more seconds, you will remain alone in this stairwell. You move. At 9:38 a.m., you step out of a metal door at ground level onto a narrow service road with yellow lane markings and no one on it. The sky is overcast. There are no aircraft in the air. Not zero aircraft. There are usually, at any given time in the continental United States, approximately 5,000 commercial aircraft airborne. You scan the sky in 3 directions and count 0. Long-term parking, Lot E, is visible from where you're standing. You can see the sky bridge you came over that first morning, your car beneath it, a gray sedan on level 2. 400 meters, maybe 5. You walk. Your phone restored to the last bar of signal at ground level for about 11 seconds, receives 3 text messages before losing connection again. One is automated. One is from your mother, sent 17 minutes ago, asking if you're okay. One is from a number you don't recognize, with no message, just an attachment that will not load. The 11 seconds are enough to tell you that your mother, wherever she is not okay in the way that people say they're okay when they aren't. You find your car. You start it. The fuel gauge reads just above half, approximately 220 miles of range on the highway, fewer in traffic. You do not go back to the terminal. You do not wait for instructions. You pull out of the lot, find the exit road, and turn north, away from the airport, away from the direction most of the ground traffic seems to be moving. Here is what is likely happening right now, beyond the airport, beyond what you can see. In every supermarket in the country, point-of-sale systems are offline. Cash is becoming the only functional currency. Most Americans carry $22 in cash on average, which is approximately 1 tank of gas, partially. ATMs are non-operational. In hospitals, backup generators are running, and have been for the past 20 minutes. Most hospital generators are rated for 72 to 96 hours of full operation. After that, the calculation changes. In cities with populations over 1 million, Water distribution systems rely on electrically powered pumping stations. Most have between 24 and 72 hours of elevated tank reserves before pressure begins to drop. You have, at most, a 3-day window before that becomes the next crisis. On the interstate, roughly 11 miles north of where you are right now, traffic is already slowing. The kind of slowing that becomes gridlock within the hour. You have a 2-lane state route parallel to the interstate that most GPS systems, most drivers, would not instinctively choose. You know this road. You've driven it before. You take it now. The airport, in your rearview mirror, sits under its overcast sky, windows full of amber emergency light. 3,200 people in a building designed for transit, waiting for instructions that will not come. Not today, possibly not tomorrow. You don't know what started this. You don't know how far it extends. You don't know what you'll find at home or whether the route there remains open. What you know is that you are moving. You have fuel, you have direction, and you made your decisions in the first window. The small, quiet window before the crowd became a crowd. That will not save you from everything that comes next, but it gives you a start. The road ahead is empty, for now.